Right. So listening to your body, only doing what's comfortable for you today. If we come into some sort of pose or shape that doesn't feel right for you, please feel free to come out and then join us again whenever you are ready. Also, as you know, I try to offer some modifications. So um, find one that feels best for you and your body. So we just started, Tatiana. I'm going to draw a card for you. Your card, I create positive action through the cycle of change. She did, yes. All right. So let's start by connecting to the breath, just noticing what you feel today. I think today, let's bring in the Ujjayi breath. So our Ujjayi ocean breath, Darth Vader sounding breath. We use that constriction along the back of the throat, kind of like we're whispering or we are fogging up a mirror. So if you need to practice a little bit by imagining you have a mirror out in front of you, maybe using your hand and exhaling out, feel free to do that. If you're already comfortable with the Ujjayi breath, finding that constriction both on the inhale and the exhale. Take deep inhales in through the nose, into the diaphragm, and long, slow exhales out. So as we go through our practice today, I invite you to return to this Ujjayi breath as much as you can, or as much as you feel comfortable doing so. This breath can help us slow down the breath and also find some concentration, especially when we are holding a pose for a while and we want to get out, or if the mind starts to wander. It also helps to kind of relax us. So our class today is on mantras. So a mantra is a focusing tool that can help you on and off of your mat. I invite you to spend the next few moments in silence developing your personal mantra for today's practice. You might start with a word that feels right to you today, or maybe a few words, or maybe like the opposite word to create a mantra. So, for example, if you find peace as your word, you can say, I am peace. Or you can explore adding opposite words to magnify your real focus. Inhale, peace. Exhale, struggle. So maybe you create your own, or maybe it's from one of the cards that was pulled earlier today. And if you're having a hard time coming up with something, I invite you to use the mantra, I am peace. And whenever you're ready, finding some small movements in your fingers and toes. Rolling around wrists and ankles. Maybe these small movements become bigger movements. And then whenever you are ready, rolling over to one side, whichever side is calling for you, gently making your way up to seated, and then we're coming right into a tabletop pose. So feel free to use a blanket underneath your knees if you wish. In our tabletop pose, excuse me, just a reminder, grip the fingers into the earth, cup the hands. Imagine there are ladybugs underneath your hands and you don't want to squish the ladybugs. Right, so wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And then find just some organic movements here. What feels good for you in your body? C shapes, circles, cat cow. If your mind begins to wander, maybe you return to your Ujjayi breath, or your mantra for today. All right. Let's make our way back to our tabletop pose. And then extending the right leg long behind you, toes come down to the earth. Perhaps you find a rocking motion here to stretch out the calf. Maybe you hang out in the stretch if that feels good. All right, let's cross that right leg over towards the left side, looking over the left shoulder towards those toes. Find lengthening here along the right side of the body. So we want to send the right side of the rib cage out to the side. Maybe you feel a stretch. And then gently come back to your tabletop pose. And we'll come over to the other side. Left leg comes long behind you, curl the toes under. Perhaps you rock back and forth. All right, let's come back to center and then crossing that left leg over towards the right side, looking over your right shoulder, extend the left side of the rib cage out to the side. Making your way back into your tabletop pose. Okay, we're going to make our way into puppy pose. So hips stay over top of the knees and then slowly walking the arms out in front. If you need to, feel free to grab a block to place underneath the forehead. Bringing the forehead down to the earth or the block, melting the heart. It's also known as heart melting pose. If you wish to make this a little bit more challenging, maybe the chin comes to the earth rather than the forehead. Again, listen to your body. Slowly walking your hands back into your tabletop pose. And thread the needle. So we'll start here with the right hand reaching up high towards the sky. Actually, while we're here, we're going to find a stretch. So I think you've all been in my class before for this one. We're going to maybe stay open like this, sending that right arm up towards the sky. Grip the fingers of the left hand into the earth. Or maybe you send the right hand towards the low back, maybe even over towards that left hip. Open the chest up towards the side, the right side. The hand might even start reaching towards the front of the hip or the front of the thigh. Let's drop the left ear down towards the left shoulder. Very gently allowing the head to come back to center. Release that arm back up towards the sky. And then we're going to scoop the right arm underneath the body. Right side of the shoulder, right side of the head, come down to the earth. And do you find your variation here that feels best for you today? Notice what's going on with the right shoulder. Sometimes it's up by the ear, send it down away from the ear towards the knee, the right shoulder. Think and settle here and perhaps return to your mantra. Wherever you are, let's slide that left hand underneath the left shoulder. Left knee comes to the earth. If it's out, push into the left hand to unravel and reach the right arm back up towards the sky. And then placing that right hand underneath the shoulder. Gripping the fingers of the right hand, allowing the left arm to reach up towards the sky. Again, maybe you stay here, or perhaps you send that hand back behind you, maybe towards the right hip or front of the right thigh. Perhaps allowing that right ear to come down towards the right shoulder. This pose makes me feel like a pretzel. Allowing the head to come back to center. Release that right hand back up towards the sky and then scoop the right arm underneath. Right shoulder, right side of the head, come to the earth. Send that left shoulder, left side of the head. Send the left shoulder down towards the knees. Find whatever variation feels best for you on this side. All right, so wherever you are, bringing that right hand underneath the right shoulder, right knee comes to the earth. Push into the right hand to unravel. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. And then placing the left hand down towards the earth back into our tabletop pose. And then let's come into child's pose, big toes together, knees apart if that's comfortable for you. Sit the heels back, reach the arms long, melt the heart towards the earth. Okay, making your way back into your tabletop pose. Gripping the fingers into the earth, shoulders roll back and down the spine, curl the toes under, send the hips back and up behind you. So as much of a bend in your knees as you need. The aim is to send the belly button towards the thighs. If you wish, you can pedal out your feet if that feels good, or maybe you sway hips from side to side. All right, gently making your way back into your tabletop pose. Shifting your weight forward, tuck the elbows and gently lower all the way to the earth. All right, so maybe you find a baby cobra here, or maybe you find this variation of cobra where we bring the hands out to the side, tent the fingers to the earth. Elbows are gonna come over top of the wrists. You're kind of making like 90-degree angles here. Yep, with your arms. Tops of the feet pushing down to the earth, lift the heart. If it's baby cobra, hands are underneath your shoulders, tuck the elbows in, lift the heart. So here, if you want, you can make some movement. Maybe you look over your left shoulder and then look over the right shoulder. Whatever feels good for you here. And then gently coming all the way down towards the earth. Let's make our way into our tabletop pose. Sending the right foot forward between the hands. Left foot comes forward to meet the right into a forward fold. Feet are hip distance apart. So again, as much of a bend in your knees as you need for comfort. What feels good here for your arms? Do you want them to dangle? Grab a hold of opposite elbows, or perhaps even clasping the hands behind the low back, shoulders roll back and down the spine, reach the arms up towards the sky. Release any tension you feel in your neck. Allow the upper body to hang heavy. If you're feeling discomfort in the backs of the legs, maybe even tingling, bend into those knees a little bit more. Okay, we're going to release the hands down towards the earth. And then coming into a halfway lift, hands come to shins or thighs, flat back here. Exhale to fold. Let's bring our hands to our hips, so lengthen the spine and come all the way up with a flat back. All right, so mountain pose to begin. If you have some blocks, finding the blocks and bringing them close to the front of your mat. All right, so mountain pose to begin. Squeezing the inner thighs, shoulders roll back and down the spine, and crown of the head reaches high. Okay, from here, let's take a big step back with the right foot. We're going to come into a warrior one pose. So wide stance here, right foot to the right side, left foot to the left. We bend into the front knee, knees over the ankle in line with the second or third toe. And then we want to square the hips towards the front of the mat. Perhaps you reach the arms up towards the sky and soften the shoulders. Turn the pinkies in. Or turning the palms in. All right, and then on your exhale, we're going to bring the hands down towards either the blocks or the floor, and then slowly straighten that front leg. Just go as far as you feel comfortable. Maybe the hand is up on the thigh and you slowly straighten that front leg. Bend into that front knee, reach the arms back up towards the sky, square the hips forward. And then exhale, hands come down to your blocks or the earth, straighten the front leg. Find your ujjayi breath or your mantra. Notice what's going on with the left hip. We want to roll the left hip back. If you need to, you can step that right foot forward. So it's not really about how deep you go into this pose. You just want to feel that stretch. You might be up high. Okay, bending into that front knee. Allow the arms to reach up towards the sky. Square the hips. Okay, let's find a back bend. So slight tuck of the tailbone. So either cactus arms or bringing the hands back behind your low back, shoulders roll back and down the spine. So we want to imagine a string pulling the heart up towards the sky. Still bending into that front knee. All right, release the hands, allow the arms to reach back up, and then stepping the right foot forward to meet the left into your mountain pose. Taking a big step back here with the left foot this time. Find your warrior one on this side. Hips are squared forward. Check the front knee. Soften the shoulders. All right, exhale, hands come down towards your blocks or the earth. Straighten that front leg just as much as it feels comfortable to do so. We're going to bend into the front knee, come back up. Squaring the hips forward. And then one more time, arms come down towards the blocks or the earth, straighten the front leg. Again, if you can roll the right hip back, it even helps to use that right hand to help you roll it back. Feel free to shorten your stance if you need to. Maybe you come up a little bit higher, hand to the thigh. And there's a whole bunch of different places you could be feeling this right now. So just check in and notice. Do you need your mantra at this time? All right, bending into that front knee, reach the arms up towards the sky. Check the front knee. And then find your variation of arms for back bend, cactus arms, or if you clasp your hands, find the opposite clasp from what's natural. Send the tailbone down towards the earth. Allow the heart to reach up towards the sky. Release the arms back up towards the sky. And then step the left foot forward to meet the right. Shake out your legs if you need to. Okay, we're going to find that again. We're going to find a revolved triangle. So having your blocks nearby. Okay. So from here, let's step the right foot back. So maybe you shorten your stance. So we're warrior one, sorry. Maybe you shorten your stance a little bit in this one. Bring that right foot forward about a foot. Okay. We're going to straighten the front leg, turning the hips towards the front of the mat. Hinge forward from the hips. Allow the arms to come down wherever is comfortable. So roll the left hip back. So your right hand is going to stay on your block or on the earth. Reaching the left arm up towards that sky. Roll the left hip back. Revolve triangle. All right, let's drop the left hand back down. Bend into the front knee. Standing back up, right foot comes forward to meet the left. Maybe you shake out the leg. We'll find that on the other side. Left foot steps back, come into your warrior one. And then if you need to, step the left foot forward. We bring our hands to our hips, straighten the front leg, squaring the hips towards the front of the room, hinging forward from the hips. See if you can do so with a flat back as much as you comfortably can. Hands come to your hips, thigh, or blocks. So you can always stay here if you want, or you can find that revolved triangle. Allowing the left hand to remain on your prop. Right hand reaches up towards the sky, and then roll that right hip back, tuck it back. If you need to, use your right hand to roll the right hip back. Left hip will roll forward. So you may not be reaching all the way up towards the sky. You may not be reaching at all. Totally okay. Listening to your body. Allowing the right hand to come back down. All right, bend into the front knee, come on up and come back into your mountain pose. Maybe you shake your legs out. Okay, so we're gonna find crescent moon variation here. Not half moon, don't worry. We're not doing balance today. All right, so let's bring the arms up towards the sky, softening the shoulders, extended mountain. And then from here, you're going to allow your arms to reach over towards the right side. I think I need to turn. Inhale, allow the hands to come back to center, and exhale, arms reach over towards the other side. Inhale, arms come back to center, and exhale with a flat back, swan diving down into a forward fold. Find your variation of a forward fold. Okay, so from here, bending the knees, hands come to the earth. We're gonna step back and then come down into tabletop. All right, so from our tabletop pose, we're going to come into a kneeling pose. If you can, if it's comfortable, curl the toes under to feel a bit of a stretch in the feet. Come out of it whenever you need to. I know my feet start to cramp really quick. Okay, if you need to, you can sit on blocks or maybe place a folded blanket underneath the hips for a little bit more leverage here. So let's bring the arms up towards the sky as you inhale. And as you exhale, turning to the left, allow the arms to come down towards your sides. Inhale, arms come back up to center. Exhale, turning to the right, arms come down by the sides. So let's just move back and forth here at your own pace with your own breath. On your next inhale, come back to center. Exhale, let's bring the hands back down to the earth into a tabletop pose. If you need to, shake out the feet. All right, so grabbing a hold of your blocks here, and we're going to come into a variation of a low lunge, and then we'll find a bit of a stretch. So let's just, for now, step the right foot between the hands. Okay, having your blocks nearby as you come on up. So we're not going to be in a deep lunge for this, okay? So just knees over the ankle. So almost like 2 90-degree angles here, okay? From here, we're going to walk the blocks back. So maybe even just the left block back, reach the right arm up, send the tailbone down towards the earth, heart reaches up towards the sky. If this feels like too much, maybe your hand comes to your low back and you just reach up. One more round of breath here. And then squeeze the inner thighs as you allow yourself to come back to center. Reach the arms up towards the sky. We're going to bring the hands down, find your blocks. So straightening that front leg, we're going to keep the toes on the earth for this one. Straighten the front leg. Sorry, toes may lift, but at least the four corners of the feet are on the earth. Roll the right hip back, stretching the front of that right leg. All right, shifting back into that front knee, back into that variation of a low lunge. Bring the blocks with you as you come up. Walk the blocks back. Send the tailbone down towards the earth. We're finding this pose again. Right arm reaches up, maybe back. You can always adjust the block so it's lower if you want a little more stretch, or maybe the hand comes towards that left ankle. All right, inhale, let's come back up, reach the arms up towards the sky. All right, exhale, hands come down to the earth. Let's come into a tabletop pose. And then finding cat-cow. Cat pose, round the spine, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, arch the back up high. Cow pose, tailbone comes up towards the sky, belly button towards the earth, heart comes through between the shoulders. Just moving at your own pace. All right, coming back to your tabletop pose. This time we're going to send the left foot forward between the hands. So 2 90-degree angles here. Find your blocks. Come on up and then slowly start to walk the blocks back. Right block is going to come back behind you. Send the tailbone down. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. So you should be feeling a stretch here along the front of the left thigh. It's kind of like a variation of a camel, kind of, sort of. All right, left hand comes down, find your blocks. We're gonna walk the blocks forward, and then as you bend into that front knee, and then straighten the front leg, keep the 4 corners of the feet on the earth. Feel a stretch along the front of that left leg. We're gonna try and hit all the spots today. All right, bending back into that front knee. Walk the blocks back with you or place them where they need to go. Right hand's on the block or your low back. Send the tailbone down towards the earth. Left arm reaches up, maybe back. Try not to allow your head to drop all the way back. I want to imagine that grapefruit underneath the chin. Find your mantra. Does your mantra help you here? All right, inhale, let's bring the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, hands come down to the earth. Mind your blocks, find your tabletop. And then maybe finding whatever feels good for you in this shape, any organic movement. All right, let's find child's pose. So any variation that feels good for you. If you want to find a little bit of an opening for the back, for the upper back or into the backs of the shoulders, hands come behind you. So they come by the feet, palms face up. When you are at rest, how does the message of your mantra shift? Do you hear it more clearly here or while you are in a more challenging shape? Is it more powerful or important to you here or when you are in a space of challenge? All right, gently making your way into your tabletop pose. And we're going to come into seated. All right, so from seated, you have options. The gentlest variation is Sukhasana, easy seated pose, or crisscross applesauce. Okay, or if you wish, coming into fire log. So in fire log, we'll bring the left leg so that it goes the same direction as the edge of your mat, activating the right foot and then crossing that leg over. So you're kind of stacking one leg on the other. If you need to, you can find a blanket or a block to place underneath the right knee. Right? If this isn't good for you, finding that easy seated pose. So let's bring the hands out in front, find length in the spine. And then on your exhale, hinging from the hips, send the heart forward. You may not go very far. We just want to feel that stretch along the outer edge of, well, depending on what pose you're in, but if you're in the fire log, the outer side of that right thigh into the right hip. I create positive actions through the cycle of change. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna walk, we haven't done this in a long time. We're gonna walk the hands over towards the right side so that your body is crossing over the right knee. All right, slowly activate the feet, bring the hands back towards center. And then walking the hands back up. So we're gonna keep the cross of our legs for just one more shape here. So whichever variation you have. Okay, we'll bring the arms out towards the sides, palms face up. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, turn to the left. Hands come down by the sides. Find length in your spine. Great. If you want to deepen this, you certainly can. A couple ways. One is to walk the hands out towards the left side. That one's pretty stretchy. Or maybe you find a twist here by placing the right elbow to the right foot, or maybe to the left thigh. Hands come to prayer, push into the hands to help you turn. Not as stretchy. I don't know what other word to use for it. Okay, release your arms, slowly make your way back to turning to the left in that twist, and then slowly come back to center. Activating the right foot as you take the right foot off, maybe you give the leg a shake. So if you're in Sukhasana, you're just gonna change the cross of your legs. In fire log, we're gonna bring the right leg to the earth first this time. Activate the left foot, cross the left leg over the right. All right, so maybe if you need to find a comfortable place to sit, activate your feet as you shift around. All right, so hands come out in front. Inhale to lengthen the spine and exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Send the heart forward. I acknowledge and express my emotions with ease and grace. All right, gently walking the hands over towards the left side. Reach as far away as you comfortably feel like you can. You may feel a little bit of a stretch here along the right side of the body, the right arm, rib cage, maybe even the hip. And then slowly bring the hands back towards center. We're still leaning forward. And then walking the hands back, coming back up to that seated position, either fire log or sukhasana. We're going to find our twist. Arms come out to the sides. Inhale, arms reach up towards the sky. Exhale, turning to the right, arms come down by your side. So maybe you stay here, or you can always use that left hand to bring to the right knee to help you turn, maybe a little bit deeper. Perhaps you find that prayer twist, left elbow to left foot or the right thigh, or that super stretchy walking the hands out towards the left side. Oh. Trying to keep both hips on the earth if you walk the hands out. So no pain in any pose. There may be a little bit of discomfort. Return to your mantra or return to the Ujjayi breath. But sharpshooting pain is not good. Come out if you need to. Right, if your hands are out long or you're in the prayer twist, release that, coming up, turning towards the right still, that seated twist, and then come back to center. Activating the left foot as you release the left foot. Let's all bring the legs out long, give them a shake. Come on down onto your back. Feet come wide on the mat, windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Okay, today's twist, we're going to keep the feet wide on the mat and allow the knees to drop over towards the right side. So a little bit more for the thighs than a twist than it is for the back. Palms face up towards the sky. Maybe you look to the left. I awaken the limitless love within me. I am abundant. Let's gently bring the knees back to center. Maybe you windshield wiper the knees a couple more times. You need to reposition the back flat on the earth. And when you're ready, allowing the knees to drop over towards the left side. Maybe you look to the right. I am the master of my own mind. I am ready to move forward. Once this side feels complete for you, allowing your knees to come back to center. Maybe you find the windshield wiper knees again, or maybe you hug the knees in towards the chest, perhaps rocking here. All right, so Shavasana, I invite you to find a reclined butterfly variation here if it's comfortable for you. If not, anything that feels good. So our reclined butterfly, we bring the feet together, soles of the feet, knees apart. If you need to, find a prop to place either underneath the knees or underneath where the hips meet the thigh, or even just walk the feet out a little bit further. Palms face up towards the sky, taking deep inhales in through the nose and long, slow exhales out. So I drew a card as well. I create loving action, which sets me free as I grow with gratitude. So perhaps you found a mantra today that helped you during your practice. I invite you to take this mantra with you off the mat and into the world. Perhaps you can use it the next time you have anxiety, fear, or when stress arises, and just see what happens. Returning to that Ujjayi breath. Taking deep inhales and long, slow exhales. Letting go of your practice. Letting go of any tension. And letting go of anything that doesn't serve you. And gently bringing your awareness back to your space. Making some gentle movements in your body. If you're in that reclined butterfly, maybe stretching the legs out long. And then I invite you to take a moment here to find gratitude for carving out this time to take care of your body, your mind, and your heart. Whenever you are ready, rolling over to one side, and then gently making your way up to seated. And once you get there, lowering or closing your eyes. I honor this virtual space that we are in that has allowed us to come together to practice together. I honor the teachers from India who have come before us, who have brought this beautiful practice of yoga to us. And I honor all of you for being here today and for sharing your practice with me and with each other. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful evening.